the time.
Okay, no problem.
Let's start at 4:10 so that others can join. In the meantime, you can use the chat box to interact. This is going to be a house section, so I recommend colleagues who are joining, you have your laptops turned on with good internet connection so you can practice. It's something that I think all of us need so that you ask all the necessary questions here, we get them clarified and address them, and then from here, you start uploading your publications and start profiting from it. So if you do not have your laptop here, you are using your phone, get a gadget where you can go online and be able to sign up for these and start uploading your publications. So please get those gadgets closer to you before we start.
Noted. Thank you.
Colleagues, so we are waiting for other colleagues to join. So if you have people in your network who need to be here, who are not here, please start reminding them to join us. We'll start the meeting in the next 2 minutes.
Dr. Kojo, please read the
Yes.
chat box, the chat. Someone is asking an important question.
Sorry, I'm trying to project a video so we can read the questions out and then let's.
I am a children's writer.
A comedy writer.
Well, I write novels, I write short stories, I've written a memoir.
I write for the most difficult market of all. I write for children. ALCS stands for Authors Licensing and Collecting Society.
They collect money for us and they look after our rights. So basically, they go out there and they collect money for rights on our work that are being used, but that we might not even know about, and we certainly wouldn't profit from without ALCS.
ALCS is unique because it really works for writers. Writers in our careers, we have to work with all sorts of organizations, publishers, TV companies, universities, newspapers, magazines. They're great people, but it's their commercial interest to get the best deal with us, which means they want to get us to do work for them for less than we might like. ALCS protects us, lobbies for us. It gathers money that we might not have known about anyway, all of which is a fantastic service. It is like a shield and a defense and a great community that really helps writers.
The best way to describe the ALCS is a godsend to writers. It's a membership society, though, and it collects money on behalf of writers, protects their creativity, and it actually campaigns for their rights, which is great. Money comes from all over the world, but mainly from secondary uses.
Vary from a few pounds to literally tens of thousands of pounds. It really depends on your work, but that money comes in pretty much twice a year, so it all adds up.
Well, back in 1977, it was started by writers, and it's still run by writers even today.
It's for everyone who writes for money. So my writer friends all belong, but it's not just that. I was talking about explaining the ALCS the other day to my bank manager, and she said, "Oh, but my neighbor is a dentist and he's written a dental textbook. Do you think he should belong?" I said, "Of course he should belong. Anyone who writes for money should join ALCS."
Well, I've got a friend who I've been nagging for years. She's a journalist and a writer and a sub-editor. And I've been saying, look, you've got to join. You've got to join. And I got a text from her the other day to say, all right, I joined and I'm an idiot because I've got an incredible amount of money and I'm over the moon. I'm overjoyed. So thank you.
Well, there isn't a catch. Writers are very suspicious people. And we trust ALCS because they were started by writers and they're still led by writers.
ALCS does what it says on the tin. There was a great creative guy called Jim Henson who created the Muppets. And on the wall of his studio, he had a phrase in big letters: simple is good. That's ALCS. It collects money the writers are owed, and it makes sure it gets to them. I can't see what the problem with that is.
I heard about ALCS through a fellow author, Tony Bradman, who told me about money that I was entitled to, that I didn't even know that I was entitled to, which is fantastic.
I heard from a friend of a friend who came up to me and said, look, I've got £500 for you. Would you like it? And I joined pretty much straight away. It's often the best kept secret in writing. You're bound to know a member, you just don't realize it. We're everywhere. Is that all right? Too much? That's a bit sinister. We're following you.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever else you are joining us from. So my name is Kojo. See if I can project my video. Unfortunately, my internet is quite unstable because we have some rainstorm here. It's still raining here anyway. I'm in Ghana at the moment. So this afternoon, this evening, wherever else you are, you're joining us from, we'll be introducing to you to the Alter Licensing and Collecting Society based in the UK, which serves to an IP unit, let me put it that way, for authors and writers that help us to make money from our publications, either in books or research articles that you've written, or contributions or blogs that you've written that have connection with publishers in the UK. You are entitled, irrespective of your location in the world, you are entitled to an IP in a form of royalties that can be paid to you on 2 times within a year when you sign up for this. So I'll be taking you through how you can sign up for the ALCX and how you can upload your publications to start profiting from it. My section with you will be very brief. We'll spend most of the time with Q&A so that we can demonstrate to you practically how you can use the platform. Everything is going to be done virtually. You don't need to write to them, or you don't need to exchange physical letters with them. So The title is Leveraging Author License and Collecting Society in the UK to Monetize Your Publications. I have already done this presentation to other organizations that I belong to, like the Organization of African Academic Doctors, for instance, based in Nairobi, Kenya, and also with offices in Asia, specifically China, and also in Japan. So this is going to be the outline of our interactions this afternoon. First of all, I'd like to look at what the Author License and Collecting Society is, why the need for ALCS, and what ALCS collect monies for as an author or as a member of the society. And then we'll look at some quick, simple steps on how you can join ALCS and be able to benefit from what the society does for its members in good standing. We'll now look at can join the association and who can join the eligibility criteria. And finally, we'll look at few Q&A sections where we can interact. And then those of you who have difficulties even in registering or even uploading your publication, we can help you address them. So the Author License and Collecting Society was established in 1977 by a group of authors in the UK. Essentially, the aim is to collect money for writers and also ensure that this money is remitted to the respective writers. Okay. Since its establishment in 1977, over 500 million pounds has been remitted to authors and researchers globally, not only in the UK. Okay. However, there's only one thing that I see to be quite restrictive to ALCS. ALCS demands that your publisher or your publication need to have something to do with the UK. In other words, your publisher need to be located in the UK or need to be legally registered and resident in the UK, for instance, before it can go after them. This is IP, these are laws, these are legal issues. And so we understand where they are coming from. And so it's a non-profit membership organization based in the UK. They make payment 2 times a year to members who are in good standing, and the payment is paid either in one time or they can even pay both at the same time. They can pay within 2 different tranches within a year to you. I joined the association last year when I returned to Ghana during the COVID, at the peak of the COVID. I know I do a lot of publication. I was asking, and I'm not affiliated with any academic institution or research institution. I'm a private person. I run a consulting firm. That's what I do for a living. So I was like, how do I benefit from the numerous publications that I have and those I keep on publishing? So I started asking questions. And one of my colleagues, who is a lecturer at the University of Mines and Technology here in Ghana, in Takwa specific, engaged me and said, he have answers to some of the questions I've been asking him. And then, yes, he said a colleague of his based in the UK, who's a lecturer, introduced him to ALCS. So let me try it out and see. So I shared within my close networks. The intention was for us to pilot it to ensure that this is legit, this is legitimate, and it's working before we make it public for other researchers and colleagues like you to also benefit from. We tested it. I tested it for 1 year. This year, that was somewhere 2 months ago. I was there and I received an alert on my bank account. Nothing I expected. I just signed up. I didn't even take it serious. I uploaded only 2 publications. You can imagine. I have over 50 plus articles, but I uploaded only 2 with the intention that I'm using to test the waters. And it worked. And the money was transferred directly into my local account. So I said, well, why not share this with other researchers like yourself who can also take advantage of it, especially in Africa where our respective government do not have any plan, any funding or investment plan for research. We literally pay for our own publications. We literally sponsor our research works as researchers, especially those of you who are in the universities and research institutions. You bear me out because I've been there before. We do not have funding dedicated like other developed countries in Europe or Asia, where they have governments sponsoring research works and even publications. You literally have to pay for your research, you literally have to pay for your glassware, so your laboratory, pay for your publications and all that. How do you profit from it? At least to be able to make up for the investment that you are doing in that research. Apart from the promotion, there should be some monetary dividend that comes to you. I think ALCS will be a best bet for you this afternoon after we are done. So the association pays for collect royalties and also monies that are due to authors, okay, that publish articles in UK magazines and journals, for instance, books chapters. It could be essays or poems that you've written for USA publication or UK outlet, sorry. It could even be broadcast script. Those of you who are in journalism, you may be writing your blogs like I do. Yes, that could be used by any radio station or media outlet in the UK. If you can prove, okay, you can prove that and even upload a documentary evidence to that effect on the association's web portal. When you register, the association can track the use of these and ensure that royalties that are due on the secondary uses of these intellectual property of yours, okay, are collected, and this money will be remitted to you. It could also be in the form of visual contribution that we have made. It could be infographics that we have made in books, magazines, and journals. Those of you are also in the music, in the art sector. It could be sculpture work that we have done that is being demonstrated or being showcased in any museum in the UK, for instance. Yes, ALCS can help you to collect royalties that are due, legitimately due you, so that you can also make some benefit, get some benefit from your intellectual property. Now, let's see how you can join the association. You can join the Author Collecting and Licensing Society simply in two ways. But I recommend this first one I'm going to share with you is you can join virtually on their website using this website, alcs.co.uk/register, and you can sign up without any difficulty. One of the things you'll be required to do is for you to pay a registration fee of £36. The good news about them is that they've made this optional. If you do not have the money on you, okay, what you can do is that you can postpone the payment of it, yet your sign up or your registration will be processed. And then when you upload your publication and they collect the royalties on it, they are remitting this, they will take the £36 from the first collecting payment that will be done to you. So you don't need to bother about registration fee or sign up fee that will serve as a constraint, okay? However, if you're already a member of any of these associations in the UK, there are several of them, but these are notable ones that the association recommend. We will share with you, especially when we are popularizing the activities of the association for colleagues like you to join. If you are already member of the Society of Authors in the UK, this is a society in the UK, which is purposely for authors, writers, Guild of Great Britain, National Union of Journalists, British Association of Journalists, or Chartered Institute of Journalists. Okay, you don't need to pay the £36 because this is waived by the association. Okay, so you can become a member by joining online via the website provided, and then you more or less input a bit details about you, tell the association a bit about you. That includes your name, that is your identity, your biodata, essentially your biodata, your name, your institution of affiliation, yes, your current institutions of affiliation and blah, blah, your occupation and all that. I mean, and then your dedicated address, physical address, postal address for that matter. And then you also ask you for them to be able to remit money directly into your bank account. They will ask you to enter or input your bank account details. However, they will never ask for your passport. So if there's any link somebody sent you that they are asking for your password, please, that is a scam. ALCS will never ask for your password. They will only ask you to enter your bank account, your bank details, your name, the name of the bank, your bank account, and that is all. That is all the information they require, and the address of where that account is open, where especially if the address corresponds with your personal address or your professional address. Voila, that is good to go. You don't need to worry about inputting further information or further data into the registry as part of the registration forms. Why you should join the association? Yes, there are a couple of reasons I've listed here as 4 major reasons. One, the association pays you money that is collected for the use of your work in the UK and across the world, and especially if the work is published by UK publishers or circulated by UK publishers. Okay. The association also collects royalties that are due to UK works. In other words, your work that is going to be used in the UK and also around the world. And this could be in the form of your work that is being photocopied by students by universities or being reproduced, where can be reproduced into different things. Okay, in the association is able to follow up. They have a more structured system that you and I will have here in Africa. And so they are able to track all these and then collect monies that are due to the original owners of the intellectual property, which is the content, you and I. Okay. ALCS make payment a year, like I mentioned earlier, to members who are signed up in good standing. And lastly, the association charge a commission fee on the money that is due you. So for the association to rerun, to cater for its office and administration and operational overhead, it charges commission, and the commission is not fixed. The commission is between 5 to 10%, okay, per tranche of payment that is done to you as a member of the association. Who can join? So once you are a writer or you've written anything and you have published it or broadcast it, either in digital media, in hard copy, and then it has something to do with the UK publishers, yes, you are qualified to join. Okay, members, it could be members who, it could be authors who write fiction or non-fiction, or it could be translators, adapters, script writers, magazines, journal article writers like you and I, who are researchers, editors, and in all journals. You can join ALCS, that is the Author License and Collecting Society. The good news about it is that they don't discriminate irrespective of your race or your location. Okay. However, the only way they can track the secondary uses of your work is that the IP need to be with a it need to be with a UK publisher. In other words, your work need to be published by a UK publisher or UK journal or UK distribution outlet. In that case, the legal framework in the UK mandate that they are able to track them on the secondary use of that content that they are monetizing or they are circulating or commercializing in the UK. And then they can charge them or they can take commissions on what is being your intellectual property that is being monetized or that is being commercialized by these outlets, and pay those monies back to you, irrespective of your location, irrespective of your race. Okay. It also have a reciprocal agreement with over 55 collecting societies around the world. So it works in tandem. So works that are distributed by UK publishers or legally UK distributors of content, okay, across the world. And once your work fits in any of them, they liaise with these 55 collecting societies across the world, okay, and ensure that monies that are due to authors are collected and these monies remitted to the authors. It sounds too good to be sweet. Okay, as part of the registration, I showed you the first method of joining. You can also join by downloading the registration forms on their website using this address that I've quoted here. And then as part of the registration, you're supposed to review certain terms and conditions. Honestly, I have not read most of the terms. I've only read 2. Memorandum of Articles of Association. Yes, I've read this, which talk about your freedom to join the association, your rights, your responsibilities, and blah, 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 and all that. Okay. And then as part of that copy registration, because you have to fill these forms and send it back to them, either via email or by mail, you send it to them. Okay. They also ask you to sign these terms, okay, as a membership, as an agreement, as a bonding between them and you as a member of the association. And then this registration helps, gives you an option to withdraw from this right at any time you want, or maybe you no longer want it. And the good thing about the ALCS is that you have up to 75 years. That is how long it is. In other words, you can register your next of kin. Your next of kin can also register their next of kin in your name. You will be benefiting from this intellectual property for the next 75 years of your life. Okay. So yes, this is brief about ALCX. That is an author licensing and collecting society. That's a society that ensures that intellectual property of authors and writers like you and I are monetized And these monies that are being collected, part of these monies go back to the original intellectual property owners, who are you and I as authors. So we'll watch a brief video for the sake of those of you who joined a bit late. We'll repeat that video I played before we started the meeting, and then we can zoom into our Q&A section. Where's my, okay.
I am a children's writer.
A comedy writer.
Well, I write novels, I write short stories, I've written a memoir.
I write for the most difficult market of all. I write for children. ALCS stands for Authors Licensing and Collecting Society.
They collect money for us and they look after our rights. So basically, they go out there and they collect money for rights on our work that are being used, but that we might not even know about, and we certainly wouldn't profit from without ALCS.
ALCS is unique because it really works for writers. Writers in our careers, we have to work with all sorts of organizations, publishers, TV companies, universities, newspapers, magazines. They're great people, but it's their commercial interest to get the best deal with us, which means they want to get us to do work for them for less than we might like. ALCS protects us, lobbies for us. It gathers money that we might not have known about anyway, all of which is a fantastic service. It is like a shield and a defense and a great community that really helps writers.
The best way to describe the ALCS is a godsend to writers. It's a membership society, and it collects money on behalf of writers, protects their creativity, and it actually campaigns for their rights, which is great. Money comes from all over the world, but mainly from secondary uses.
Vary from a few pounds to literally tens of thousands of pounds. It really depends on your work. But that money comes in pretty much twice a year, so it all adds up.
Well, back in 1977, it was started by writers, and it's still run by writers even today.
It's for everyone who writes for money. So my writer friends all belong, but it's not just that. I was talking about explaining the ALCS the other day to my bank manager, and she said, "Oh, but my neighbor is a dentist and he's written a dental textbook. Do you think he should belong?" And I said, "Of course he should belong. Anyone who writes for money should join ALCS."
Well, I've got a friend who I've been nagging for years. She's a journalist and a writer and a sub-editor. And I've been saying, look, you've got to join. You've got to join. And I got a text from her the other day to say, right, I joined and I'm an idiot because I've got an incredible amount of money and I'm over the moon. I'm overjoyed. So thank you.
Well, there isn't a catch. Writers are very suspicious people. And I think, you know, we trust ALCS because they were started by writers and they're still led by writers.
ALCS does what it says on the tin. There was a great creator, a guy called Jim Henson, who created the Muppets. And on the wall of his studio, he had a phrase in big letters: simple is good. That's ALCS. It collects money the writers are owed, and it makes sure it gets to them. I can't see what the problem with that is.
I heard about ALCS through a fellow author, Tony Bradman, who told me about money that I was entitled to, that I didn't even know that I was entitled to, which is fantastic.
I heard from a friend of a friend who came up to me and said, look, I've got £500 for you. Would you like it? And I joined. Pretty much straight away. It's often the best kept secret in writing. You're bound to know a member, you just don't realise it. We're everywhere. Is that all right? Too much? That's a bit sinister. We're following you.
Okay. So this is a beautiful summary with a lot of testimonials about ALCX and how these members have benefited from ALCX. I would like to open the floor for questions, any concerns that anyone want to express. Let's help clarify it. So back to you, Dr. Neil, to moderate that section. Hello? Oh, I've not muted myself. Dr. Neo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I was locked out by internet and I was struggling joining. Yeah. Well done. Thank you very much. I think it's now time for question and direction. If anybody has a question, you can use the chat box or you can use your electronic hand raise. You can raise your hand via the key hand, please. Hello, I believe you can hear me. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Yes,
you.
you're audible.
Okay, thank you. So do we have questions?
Yes, Dr. Kojo, can you take us through the process of joining?
Okay.
You can just do a demonstration.
Okay, so give me a few minutes to connect. Let me project. Okay. So the website is, have you seen, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the website is alcs.co.uk. Let's go to the About Me, the Authors Licensing and Collecting Society. So this is the homepage. Okay, are you a script writer? You might be own money and blah 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 blah. And then this is the video we just played. This is a video we just played. Okay. Play this video already. Why you should join ALCS, several reasons given here and benefits. And then bouquet of previous activities and engagement. Now, let's go back to the home page again. You see how it works. So please, I will recommend that you take your time and read through, even though I've explained, briefly summarized how it works. Take your time and get to the nitty details of it. It's very key for your own information so that in your network, when you are propounding this, let me put it that way, or you are circulating this in your network, you'll be in a position to respond to any misconceptions or difficulties that your friend may have. And then how to join, the procedures are here. So this is how to join. This is where we'll stay. So I'm clicking on how to join. And then there are a number of other sub portals. What we are interested here is how to join. Okay, so I'll go to click on how to join. Okay, because I'm already a member, he's asking me here to log in. If I'm not a member, I don't ask you to log in, to ask you to join, just like it's here. So this is where you come to. You can either register now for membership for ALC or you join on behalf of an ex-state. In other words, if you run a publication agency or you are with a university and blah, blah, you want to join, you can join using the second option. Okay, so this is the first one. We are individual researchers and authors here. So we'll go for this one, or you can even register from here, register here. And then this portal will pop up. Okay, but before you do this, my recommendation to you is that ensure that the publications that you intend to upload are publications that are published, are papers that are published with UK publishers or journals, like Taylor and Francis. You know, Taylor and Francis is based in the UK. John Williams Sons is based in the UK. Oxford Academics is based in Cambridge. Academics is also Cambridge Publishers. Yes, they're also based in the UK. Macmillan also in the UK. part of Springer Nature, which is now part of Macmillan, are also based in the UK. And then recently, Hindawi is also based in the UK. There are other publishers, okay, like Cogent, okay, Cogent group of journals, Cogent Social Science, Cogent Agriculture, Kabi, for instance, Kabi Publications are all based in the UK. Okay, so if you have papers in any of these outlets, any of these journals, voila, and there should not be more than 3 years. Please, let's take note of that. Your paper should not be more than 3 years. If it is more than 3 years, the system will automatically flag it out. Okay, it should not be more than 3 years since it was published. So first of all, you upload the title. Sorry, you fill in with your biodata. Okay, so here, what is your title? I think most of us here are either PhDs or professors. So you go for doc, and then your full name. So let's say we are using Dr. Anil. Dr. Anil, can we use your details? Hello, doc.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Your middle name?
A-Y-I
Y-I-S-A.
S-A-T.
ISAT. Okay.
Yeah. Surname is Aneyo. Why first name is Ido?
Please help me with Edo.
Yeah, the surname is Aneyo. A-N-E-Y-O.
So your first name is how do
Ido.
you spell Edo?
I-D-O-W. Yeah, good. Then birth 21.
You don't need to mention your birthday. Just give us a hypothetical birth of day. If
Okay.
you don't mind.
Okay.
For demonstration purpose.
18.
18.
10.
Let 10.
1979.
9. Okay. And
Okay.
then now,
Zoology department.
what
Zoology
exactly?
department.
So, zoology department. Zoology.
No, zoology. Yeah.
Zoology.
Yeah. Zoology department. University of Lagos, Nigeria.
University of Lagos. UNILAC.
Yes.
Niger. Okay.
Exactly.
You have a second, a third, and if you don't have, just leave them blank. They are optional. Okay. The city is Lagos. Okay. The postal address is postal code.
That's
101017.
yes.
One-
Yes, 101. No,
101017.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay.
Thank you, ma.
What about, do you have any short code? Any short code in your postal address?
No.
No.
The country is Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Okay, this is county. Sorry, it's Lagos State.
Okay,
So,
county.
Lagos State. And then the country is Niger. So you select. So Nigeria. Nigeria. Okay, then you select. I move on to the next. Because I'm already registered, that's why it's asking me to confirm this, whether I am changing my details. So I'm not going to accept it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, your email address. So we'll move on to the process of the registration, and everything is being done.
Ido. Okay.
Okay.
Ido Hilda at Gmail.
Hilda.
Yes, HILDA,
DA.
exactly, at Gmail.
Gmail.com.
Then here, can we also use our official email instead of personal email? Which one is advisable?
I would prefer use
Or
your
it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter though, but I use my organizational email address.
Okay,
I think that
then I, Aneyo,
okay.
hi.
Idowu, for anything you register, always use the organization email. It's
Okay,
always
ma.
good. Yes.
All right, ma.
Anytime
you.
from now, please. Thank you.
Okay, ma. I, Aneyo, at Unilag. Yes. No, I, Aneyo. Yes.
Okay.
At unilag.edu.ng.
.edu.
Yes, .ng.
.ng.
Okay.
Okay. You'll be asked to confirm your email address. Just cut and paste here, and then you input your password. I won't do this, so we'll that's for demonstration purposes.
All right.
Now, below here, it's asking for writers' unions. These are, let me read what is here. It says, members of the following writers' union don't need to pay anything at all. Membership is free for members of the following. So if we're a member, let us know. If we're a member, like the association I mentioned in the brief that I had with you, if you're a member of any of these associations, you select. If you're another member, you move on to the next. You're another member, so you move on to the next. Because we did not input the password, it won't allow us to move on to the next section. So the next section will ask you about the type of article you are uploading, the name of the publisher, and the most important information you need in that is the ISS number. So the ISX is the International Standard Serial Number, which is a persistent ID for periodicals, journals, publishers. Okay, that is able to use to track articles that are published in periodicals in those journals. Normally, you see that in the homepage of journals. So look for the ISSN. They can be twofold. One is for online, for print, and one is for print. Okay, so any of them is accepted. The system will pick it up.
Can we use the DIO?
No.
No, it must be ISN. All right.
The DOI is specific to articles. The ISN is specific to journals or the publisher. So let's know the difference. The DOI is for the articles. Here, they are not necessarily interested in the articles. The article, they'll be confirmed by the title you input. And then the outlet, for them to ensure that the outlet is legally registered and resident in the UK, they need the ISN. So they cannot use the DOI. And that's why they stick to the ISN. Okay, so you always see that on the home page of your journal. So that is how to go about the registration online, and it is simple. And then when you are done with it, to ask you now to add your bank account details, how you want your payment to be sent, and blah blah and all that. And that is when you are good to go. Okay, and let me say this: in the section where you are required to enter the ISN and the title of your research article, if you're able to get them right, if you're able to even get the ISN right and don't get the title right, the title of your article will pop up automatically. When you get the ISN right, the title of the article in that journal will pop up automatically. So you just select and accept it. Okay. So this is how to go about the registration online. Okay. Now I can see there
I
are
think
questions.
we have some questions at the chat box.
Okay, so let me look at them. Good evening, Friday, blah, 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 blah. It's the training. No, the training, we've answered this question, is not for any specific discipline. Once you are a researcher, an author, a writer, yes, and your work has been published in the UK or distributed by a UK publisher, yes, you're entitled to money. So sign up and benefit from that money. Is it possible to increase the volume? Sorry, is it okay now? My volume is at its peak. I've gotten to the maximum. In America, is it okay? Question 1, must my paper application be something to do with the UK? Yes, your paper needs to be published with a UK outlet, a UK publisher or UK journal or a UK distributor who is distributing your article. Okay. Does it matter whether you are the first author? No, this does not matter. Interestingly, those articles I uploaded, I wasn't the corresponding author, even though I played a major role in those articles. I think the second one was the last author, but I still benefited. So what it means that all authors, okay, on that article can benefit. That is if you all sign up to ALCS. How does ALCS deal with publisher-author copyright agreement, often signed by authors after a paper has been accepted? Okay, so let me take some time to explain this. There are those of you who may not be in Africa. I think apart from South Africa, we do not, South Africa and I think Mauritius, apart from these two countries in Africa, we do not have any country in Africa which have a very well streamlined and advanced research funding system or research funding program for researchers. Okay, in these countries, once you signed an agreement with a university or with the research institutions, you bequeath the copyright of your intellectual property to that institutions because they are paying for everything. They're paying for your research, they're paying for the region, they're paying for the lab, they're paying for the utility, they're paying for the publication. So you do not have oversight over the copyright. So that institution have the full copyright of your content that you are producing. In that case, you cannot sign out to ALCS. So please take note of it. But if you are in a country like my country, you have to use your pocket money to buy your agent, use your pocket money to implement the research and even recruit participants for your research, pay for samples for your research, and even pay for publication of your own research. Please, ALCS is for you. Those are the people the research is for. Publisher-author copyright agreement, often signed by authors after paper has been published. Well, that differs from journal to journal. I don't know which one specifically you are referring to. Some of them will require that there will be an embargo period on the published article. Okay, that embargo period, what it means is that you could not pay for the article publication. So the journal is using that to pay for the publication. And then once that, they make it freely available so everybody can access. That has nothing to do with ALCS. You can still go ahead and upload it if you find yourself in that situation. I hope I've been able to clarify that. Is there any criteria for joining? I think the only criteria, you need to be a researcher who do not have any conflict of interest in terms of the issues I've just explained above. Question 2, what determines the profit flow? The profit flow, that is the volume of paper uploaded or the amount of patronage. I do not seem to understand your question, but then let me say that that depends on the scope of the paper that you are published or the content of the work you've published and how interesting that work is to the wider consumers. So that will determine how much money you make on each paper. There's no hard and fast rule about how much you can make per paper. There's no criteria to predict it. Okay, but they're able to track the secondary uses of such content when it is distributed in the UK or is published in the UK. Okay, I hope I've answered all the questions. Any other questions? Please unmute your mic and let's interact. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Kojo. It seems your network is not clear.
Sorry, is it okay? So which means that I've been talking in things. So you didn't hear me.
It's off and on.
Is it okay now?
It is, yes.
So I need to repeat the responses I gave. Where was I? Where did it start so that I can? Please, where did the problem start so that I can go back because I made a lot of.
The response on if you sign an agreement with journal article, can you still go ahead to publication?
Yeah, okay. So my response was that your agreement you signed with a journal article had to do with your ability to pay for the article to be published. That is, if I'm not able to pay, then the journal will put an embargo period. Normally it's 1 year, sometimes can be 2 years, it could be 180 days, depending on the journal you published with. And that period is used by the journal to sell your paper, okay, to market to put your paper on behind paywall, what you technically call paid wall, so that anybody who subscribed to, they can use those subscription money to make up for the money you couldn't pay for the APC, okay, to make up for the APC you couldn't pay as an author before they make that paper open access, make it persistently, permanently available online for anybody to access. That had nothing to do with ALCS, okay? So you can still go ahead and upload. You don't have any issues with that. It is still your intellectual property, okay? However, if you are with an institution, I mentioned 2 major countries in Africa that have well-streamlined research, funding, or investment ecosystem, South Africa and Mauritius. Apart from South Africa and Mauritius, most of our countries are just joking with research, especially my country, Ghana. We do not have any clear legal framework for researchers or for research funding. And so researchers literally use their pocket money to buy their reagent, pay for their laboratory equipment and blah, 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 and all that, even pay for their own, for publication of their articles. In that case, you have the intellectual property of that article and you can upload it to ALCS and make money out of it. However, if you are from these respective countries, because the organization through the government is paying for your research funding, is sponsoring your research, is paying for the publication, you cease to have the intellectual property over the content that is being produced, because that agreement has been forfeited to the institution that is funding or investing in your research. But in that case, when you upload it, ALCS will flag that. But if we are in a country like Nigeria, Ghana, Nigeria, I don't think you have any research funding from your government, just like my country. So such kind of system, ALCS is for you and I to also profit from, especially when you use your pocket money to fund your research and to publish research. There's no specific criteria for joining. The only specific criteria need to be a researcher who have published a work in the UK, or the work is being distributed by a UK distributor. And the second question, what determines the profit? So here I mentioned there's no hard and fast rule as to how much you make on your publication. It depends on the content of your publication. It depends on the novelty of the area where your work is. That will attract the number of users. So the more people use your work, the more money, okay, that they can collect based on the usage of those, based on the usage of the content. And so there's no hard and fast rule about it. Okay. Yes, I think that was what I said. I hope I was able to recap well. Any other question? Please unmute your mic. Let's interact. If you are not asking questions, it means you don't need money. Harriet, yes. So the recording will be shared for participants. Okay. I can see a hand raised. Professor Gloria Obuzo.
Yes, good evening. What happens when you have joint authorship? How does it go in terms of sharing them?
Okay, so the good news about it is that irrespective of your position on the paper, it doesn't affect the benefit that is accrued to voters. Once is the content that is being used in the secondary manner, okay, everybody on that list, if you sign out to ALCS, you benefit from that money that is accrued from the secondary use content. So irrespective of, so whether you are
only one account will be given. Almost everybody give the account detail.
You sign up individually. You don't sign up as a group or as partners. You sign up individually. ALCS their system is able to track whether this paper was co-authored or the paper was authored by you alone. And my experience so far, all the 2 papers are uploaded The first one, I was the third author. The second one, I was the last author. I benefited. Okay, so it doesn't affect your position on the paper doesn't affect. Once paper is being used, money will come. Not all the authors on that paper may use. Unfortunately, we do not have any organization like that in Africa, and that is a very good opportunity for you and I. And so it's something some of us are championing privately. It's something some of us are championing privately. We try to see if we could engage with that is the intellectual property for the Anglophone Africa, intellectual property for the Francophone. There are 2 major intellectual property. Engage them to design something, but then the second thought, having a difficulty with don't have any strong system to be able to intellectual property. So we are still
I can't hear most of what you're saying. Your voice is fluctuating.
engaging with them if we're interested in this further. Sorry, Prof, can you hear me? Hello?
I wasn't hearing you before. I just heard you now. When you said it's something that most of us are trying to float or something like that, I wasn't hearing you again.
Yeah, so I was saying that once you are co-author on that paper, remember not all your co-authors may have signed up for ALCS as members.
Right.
So once you have signed up, for instance, I signed and I'm not sure if any of my co-authors signed up, even though I shared it with them, but I don't think any of them have signed up. The first paper, I was a third author. The second paper, I was the last author, and I still benefited. So I don't think your position on the paper affects how much it will accrue to you. And then somebody asked, is there any organization like ALCS in Africa? No. And I just mentioned that we are interacting with the 2 major intellectual property organizations, one for the Francophone Africa, one for Anglophone Africa, to see the possibility of we exploring these organizations, sort of a model like this in Africa. But the difficulty in our initial conversation we had was that our system is not as structured to be able, it's not as structured and streamlined to be able to track secondary uses of such intellectual property. But we are still finding still in the conversation. So if we are interested, yes, you can reach out and let's take the conversations further.
Okay. I'm interested.
What about published academic book chapters? Yes, so once you have a published book chapter in the UK, you are entitled to sign up for ALC.
Okay. Well, the other question is, now I become aware of this this system. If I now tell my co-authors and we all now sign in, it means that whatever outcome financially has to be split by the author.
Exactly. That's what I think. But yes, that's what I think. I don't know firsthand with that because I don't have experience with that yet. But what I think is that when all of you sign up, any financial benefit from the secondary use of that content will be split up.
Okay. And I joined the Zoom meeting late. The question is, do you have a time limit? How old is the publication? Should the publication be before one can use it?
More than 3 years. The publication should not be more than 3 years. Very good question. I mentioned this, yes. So for the benefit of those who join late, your publication should not be more than 3 years. So far, I think that is the only stringent restriction.
And the journal, what type of journal? Only international or local?
The journal need to be affiliated to the UK. It need to be a UK-based publisher. because that is where the legal framework of the UK covers in terms of the IP, the intellectual property. So the journal need to be based in the UK or registered and resident in the UK, or the distributor registered in the UK.
Okay. Please, at the end of the Zoom meeting, could you give us the link for becoming a member?
Sure. We'll
Thank
share the link with you. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Okay, I can see Gaba Ibrahim Dakasku. Gaba, I'll mute your mic.
Yeah, thank you for having a wonderful presentation, please. I wanted to ask, because I joined the meeting very that were published, for example, in Indian publishers. Hello? Hello? Yo, can you hear me? Hello,
Yes,
Dr. Kojo?
Ibrahim,
Yes, I can hear you now.
I can hear you as
Yeah,
well.
yes, what I was asking, for example, if I publish a journal with Indian publishers, can I register with that ALC?
Indian publisher, is the Indian publisher registered in the UK?
Okay, it must be registered in UK.
Exactly. It is not
All
registered
right.
in the UK. So sorry, the UK ELCR did not have the legal mandates to follow them.
All right.
Collect money from the secondaries of that content for you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Please, let's keep the questions coming. I love them. What it means is that, yes, we all want to make money from our publications. And we want to see more interest in this, because Africa we published, but unfortunately, our people go out there and use their knowledge, create a product, and come and sell it back to us. This is one of the easiest way I think we can benefit from. Dr. Derenke, I can see you. Any questions? Any contributions, concerns?
No. I enjoyed the presentation. It was very simplified and it was easy to understand. And then I was going along with you for the registration, but my concern is that I'm not actively publishing anymore, but I will further send it to my mentees
Okay.
to join so that they can also enjoy the benefits. But we don't have your affiliation in Nigeria. I think they're all, you are London based.
That is okay. Yeah, that is excellent. So you are in business.
Thank you so much.
So if you even need me to speak to them one-on-one, yes, we can have a section, we can plan a section on that, and I'll guide them as to how to go about it. Or I'll connect them to the office directly.
All right. And I'll send our logo to you. This logo you're using is not University of Lagos logo. It's not the right logo. So we'll send our logo to you, the appropriate one.
Which logo? I'm not using
University of
logo.
Lagos logo. I can see it on the partners.
The flyers. So that is from the organizer. Dr. Anu will take that.
All right. Okay. I'll talk to her. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Thank you too. Examples of UK publishers. So let me mention them here in the chat. So one, Taylor and Francis. Okay, these are publishers I have published with in the UK. Taylor and Francis. Is my network missing up? To everyone. Okay. So Taylor and Francis, 2. John Wiley and Sons, John Wiley and Sons. Three. I know we have Cogent Publishers. Yes, Cogent, I think Cogent is now part of Taylor and Francis. 4, we have Oxford Academic. Oxford Academic Publishers. We have Cambridge Publishers. Cambridge Publishers. Cambridge Publishers. Partly Springer in Nature, like I said, because they are now part of Macmillan, some of their journals are located in the UK. So check which of them are located in the UK. And I think recently Hindawi, Hindawi Publisher. Hindawi has been bought by, is it Taylor and Francis? No, John Williams Sons. So they are now based in the UK. And I also overheard Frontiers have relocated to the UK. So if you publish with any of these outlets, you are likely to benefit from ALCS services.
What of Elsevier?
No, Elsevier is based in Netherlands.
Okay, Netherlands. Right. Okay.
Elsevier, Nature, Science, they are all in the US. Elsevier partly, but it originates from the Netherlands. The headquarters. It also have offices in the US as well.
What about Androlegia?
Which one is that?
Androlegia.
I don't know it. Type it in the chat. So I'll do my best if I can. I'll try and see if I can compile a list of popular publishers in the UK, and then I'll share it to Dr. Aniho and Dr. Dua. We'll circulate it among the networks. Okay. And then Kabi, yes. 8 Kabi, you know of Kabi? Kabi, yes, Kabi publish. Publish. Oh, Kabi Publishing. This one now. Yeah, so I'll try and see. I have some lists. I'll try and update the list and I'll share with the organizers to share with you. Okay, any other questions? Any Hello? Do you have any outstanding questions, any concerns that need to be addressed?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
I typed a question in the chat box. Perhaps you missed that. I'm sorry I joined the meeting late. I was asking, is this only restricted to journal articles or also covers for book chapters or published academic books?
It covers everything. So either academic, what I even blog, if you are into blogging like myself, you write blog posts, and then these blog posts are published on a website in the UK or even picked by any media outlet in the UK, and you can provide documentary evidence to that and upload it on the platform. You can benefit from that. Okay, so it's not restricted to religion articles. Even if you write novel, you write fiction, you write poems, you can still benefit. Even if you're a photographer, for instance, you provide photo illustrations like graphics, infographics of that nature. Yes, you're a sculptor and you digitally produce sculpture work, and that is being used by media houses in the UK. Yes, you're entitled, you can benefit using the ALCS platform to benefit from your intellectual property.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, so I think we'll bring the curtains down here. Thank you very much for the audience. This has been a very good interaction. If you have any question, please, you can reach out to me or engage with the organizers, and we'll take it up from there. If you also need us to engage with your colleague researchers, your student institutions, you can reach out to the organizer. We can make it happen. I can make some time and do that for them, take them through what guide them as to sign up. We will share the link. I'll share the link in the chat, and then we'll share it in the group as well. The organizers will share it in the group. So if you have difficulty, you can reach out to us and we'll assist you. So thank you very much, and wish you a restful weekend. Back to you, Dr. Aniyu. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Bye.
Thank you very much. It is a very interesting presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kojo, for that very insightful presentation and the interesting one at that. So I'm not sure Dr. Aneyo is still online, but we can just close the meeting. So those of us who are on the Research Hub, Nigeria Research Hub, more details about how you can join the organization will be shared in that hub. So thank you, everyone, and have a very good weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.